Hello to everyone. Thank you so much for inviting us for your conference. We are the Architectural Thinking School for Children, the project based in Minsk, Belarus. And my name is Elena Karpilova. I'm a historian of art and designer as well, and the head of the school. And it's Alexander Novikov. He's also the head of the school and an architect. For let you understand why we decided to make this project, why we work with exactly this audience, with children, I will explain you a bit the context. The Belarus is a country placed between, let's say, Russia and Europe. It's here. And it's past Soviet country, and actually not many things have changed after the collapse of Soviet Empire. But anyway, if you will visit Minsk, you will see streets full of international car brands. People are using recent iPhone models. Also, IT sphere is booming, and we make big steps for kind of legalizing bitcoins as money. But in the spheres of culture and education, everything is not so optimistic. Because, for example, education of children, regular schools, they are 99% state, and state makes no actually steps to transform it somehow, to update the system, the methods of educating of children. And that's why the sphere of additional education raised very quickly, especially last 5 years. And you will not find any children from 6 to 13 years old on the street who is not visiting at least 2 additional courses twice a week. So their lives are a bit difficult, let's say. Here you see the scheme of its total hours per year for pupil from 6 to 13 years old in his regular school. And only a few number of it is dedicated to art. And actually it's a nice picture you see now, because a few years ago there were no disciplines at all connected with art. But if pupil visiting our school, Architectural Thinking School, as an additional course, the picture looks a bit more interesting. But we not study, we're not teaching children just art or architecture. We study many different disciplines, which they are missing in their regular schools, but which we think will be absolutely necessary in their future. So that's why we decided as I said, in 2016 to open our school. It's quite a young project. We both, with Alexander, we both had a big experience in our jobs. We had an international experience. I had experience kind of 9 years of working with children. And we wanted so much to share our knowledges with them. Maybe it sounds a bit loud, but we hope that our project will change a bit the future of our country in a good way. So we developed a program, the methods how to teach children, and for now program looks like this. You see the outer circle full of colors. Every color means a discipline. It's in Russian, but anyway, you see the huge amount of disciplines, but there is a system in it. So our first year of studying divided on 4 parts, on 4 semesters, and in each semester children study some very big issue, some very big subject. For example, in second semester they are studying architecture, and we not teach children just to draw. We teach, for example, psychology, ecology, storytelling, sculpture, object design, ecology, did I say already, and even dance. And as a result of this second semester, children makes their architectural projects, and we made a big event. Actually, in the end of every semester, we make a big event, and to show the results, what did they do all this semester. It's about the first year of studying, and we have a second year of studying, about which Alexander will tell.
Well, first of all, we forgot to say what architectural thinking is, as we understand it. Architectural thinking is a systems thinking, and the architect is a man of many jobs, and he needs to go through many fields to fulfill one project and to design it and to build it. That's what we do in our school. We go through many fields, and in the end we have one project. I will tell you about the second year. The second year is a gray one inside. It is devoted to a research. We research our city. We research Minsk together with children, and we go into many directions simultaneously, from city structure to even the dreams of the residents of Minsk. But I'm not going to go deep into the whole program. We're only in the middle now. I'm gonna tell you about the second semester, which was finished about a month ago. It was devoted to architecture specifically. The task was to design a residential apartment building for future Minsk in 50 years, Minsk 2067. And I will tell you how we did it. As well as most of the post-Soviet cities, Minsk has this legacy of penalized mass housing. Despite the endless criticism towards this kind of architecture, these buildings are still being built in Minsk. So we surely had to research this idea, and we started researching the buildings, and we drew them in order to understand what was bad and what was good, what could be taken into the future mass housing. The next step was to really understand who's going to live in our buildings. And the easiest way to do so was to interview the children who were studying in our school, because they're 10 to 15 years old, which means they themselves will live in these buildings. So there were a few classes of sociology where children interviewed one another and did a social survey. They collected the data, we analyzed it, and in the end we had these huge infographics showing the actual portrait of the future resident, his interests, and his future way of life. Then we had to make the speculations on future. Each student had to develop an idea of how future will look like. And then we designed our projects. And after the projects were designed, we tried to try them in virtual reality. To design something for future, you better use the tools of future architects. That's what we did. And then we made paper models. In the very end, we had this public presentation in one of the galleries in Minsk, and we showed all our projects and all our models. Now I'll go through some of the projects. The first one, it is called the prefab house. According to the future scenario, the climate will change a lot, and it'll be quite aggressive. It'll be changing all the time. Same as the climate, this building will be changing all the time as well. I was always fascinated going through these designs and finding the quotes to professional architecture, to avant-garde architecture. And most of the time, these quotes are made with no intention. Children just reinvent the architectural ideas without even knowing that they exist. We can clearly say that this building really looks like Soviet mass housing, but at the same time, taking into consideration the ever-changing system, one can say that it is metabolism. The next building I'm going to show you is called the Snail. According to the future speculation, the climate will be damaged by the mankind. So this huge house, 10 stories high, will be moving around Minsk and it'll be renovating, refreshing the air, the soil, which was damaged. It resembles the walking city by Archigram. The difference is that the walking cities were consuming, but the Snail, designed by a child, is refreshing, renovating, repairing the situation. The next project, it is called the water drop. According to the future scenario, we'll have problems with the resources, and the most important is water. This building preserves water inside its body with its huge pool, and I found it similar to the Lenin Institute by Ivan Leonidov. You see this huge auditorium here, which looks like the water drop as well. The next project is the City of Parks. Here you have 5 levels. They're quite huge, and on each level there's a very specific, well, they are not connected to one another, and they represent its own reality. And you surely can recognize this picture from Delirious New York, rediscovered by Rem Koolhaas from the Life magazine. You actually have the same idea of 5 floors, the upper floors, which have different situations on each floor. And I will let the author speak for himself. I'm talking about this young guy, 7 years old.
Мне не нравится в многоэтажных квартирах, потому что там все люди друг другу мешают. Но вообще там живут только культурные люди. Некоторые рисуют на подъездах и портят подъезды. Там этот дом, чтобы дышать, это для свежего воздуха, чтобы он был. Там очень много парков. Можно там погулять, повеселиться там. Особенно вот на самом последнем этаже есть самый смешной парк, который можно совсем от смеха можно сорвать голос.
That's the next project. It is called the Rescue Model. The future scenario is not very optimistic. Let's see the video.
Мой проект – это дом, у которого есть небольшие модули, которые держатся на титановом каркасе. Мой дом был придуман для апокалиптического сценария будущего, где будут проблемы либо с перенаселением, либо с наводнением, или все вместе. В Минске мне не нравится то, что в нем есть очень много домов, построенных по одному и тому же чертежу. И это делает Минск однотипным и не выделяющимся среди других городов.
And the last project that we are going to show you, it is called Above the Nature. This project was designed by a young girl. Let's see her video.
Мой дом был создан для того, что я думаю, что в будущем будет лесоапокалипсис. И поэтому он понадобится, потому что он будет выше лесов и всей природы. Мы не будем ей мешать. И в принципе для таких целей он создан. В сейчасшних зданиях мне не нравится то, что тебе могут мешать, то есть чужие звуки. Соседи могут мешать что-то делать, сконцентрироваться на чем-то. И вот такая вот проблема. А в моем доме дети, чтобы им взрослые не мешали в своей жизни жить, когда подрастут, специальные домики отдельные. Один дом для взрослых, можно с маленькими детьми совсем жить, а дом, который для детей, там именно для детей, которые постарше, возраста с где-то 9 по 12, даже с 9 по старше даже. Вот, и все такое, поэтому мой дом вообще, он на огромном мосте, который почти не заканчивается. Если в осенний сезон кто-то захочет собрать грибы, и он прямо над лесом будет жить, то легко это сможет сделать, если он просто спустится вниз по моим лестницам или на лифте. В этом доме жить очень удобно, но самая хорошая особенность в том, что больше природы появляется. Мы не мешаем ей, и, в принципе, сверху на транспорте у меня ездить запрещено, потому что там очень узкие дороги. Там можно ездить на роликах, на велосипедах, на самокатах и ходить пешком. Этот дом мне очень нравится, потому что я придумала его сама, и я надеюсь, всем он понравится.
Yeah, that's the project, that's the bridge, these are the houses.
Yes, and actually that's all. As one of our global aim is to connect our children, Belarusian children, with the global world, we hope so much for cooperation with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.